Hey, all you crazy nugget heads. Got some really great gold prospecting and metal detecting data here. And I'm making this video because a couple of you emailed me. I have my email address on the About page, asking, hey, how do I get started with data and recording my finds for detecting? So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a really quick example of a spreadsheet. And this is not my actual spreadsheet. This is one I'm just putting together as an example for you guys. And the structure can be pretty much anything you want. Now, when it comes to spreadsheets, I'm using a Windows laptop right now. I don't normally use Windows laptop, but you can use an Apple, a Chromebook, Linux, whatever works for you. So I'm just using this as an example because so many people have Windows with Excel. And for structure, what we have here, what I put together, just to give you guys an idea, I use a lot more columns and headings in my data. It real simply is we have a date, we have a detector, which is basically a model, the weight of gold in grams, the coil size, the depth the gold was found on, the location of the state, the county, the nickname, the weather conditions, the area, where was the piece found, where was the gold found, what type of coil was used, and the coil shape. So this is example data again, and there's so much information that we can get just with this little bit of capture. Now imagine if you could add a lot, or even if you just could add a little, and you record all your information for a month, for a year, then you go back and you look at it. Let's say you hit several different spots. Let's say you do this over a period of time, 3 to 5 years, or well over a decade like I have, a couple decades. You're going to learn a lot and you can share a lot of information. It'll really help you dial in your game. So let's look at this example data. I tried to make it as diverse as possible for just a few lines. So we're going to get started and seeing what we can do with it. So with just a little bit of information, we can kind of look at some pretty cool stuff, and I'll show you how quick it is. And I'm not going to give you a DIY on how to use these programs, whether it's Google Sheets or Microsoft Excel. Plenty of videos out there, but I'm going to show you a quick example of how fast you can get data that's valuable to you. Just a quick example here. I just went ahead, and did a quick pivot chart, pivot table insertion, and you can take a look at this, and very, very quickly you're going to be able to look at this and get some meaning out of it. Right here you can already see that the GP Extreme found the most gold, followed by the Gold Monster, then the Falcon, the GPZ 7000, then the Gold Bug 2. Now, this is just example data. These are all terrific machines. They all work great. All these machines have a great reputation. I recommend all of them. You don't need all of them, but I wouldn't hesitate to recommend any one of these to you. So real quickly, we're going to put together a couple charts, and let's see what we can learn. So much fun playing with data. We're going to use a bar chart, and we'll use a donut chart. We're going to change this data up here a little bit. I'm kind of particular in how I like my charts and my data to look, because I like it to be meaningful in a way that I understand it. So this is what I'm going to do real quick. I'm just going to put it together the way I like it to look. You can kind of follow along, but this will give you a quick understanding of how recording your data is very useful. And the difference between screwing around and science is writing it down. So if you want to be a data scientist, write it down. So we're just taking a look here, and real quickly we've kind of visualized. We know by looking at the bar chart, the columns, we know real quick that the Monster and the Extreme, we have recovered quite a bit of gold with those two combined. And if we look at the bar chart, we can see that the Extreme found 29% of the gold, the Monster 28%, the Falcon 18%, the Z 13%, and the Bug 12%. This tells us, a lot of useful information. We can hide some of this stuff on here to make it prettier. Think of yourself as a Bob Ross. There is no wrong. You can name this stuff, do whatever you want with it. Just a happy little chart. We could just call this gold recovered by model in grams. And we can use the same thing over here. And we've even made that look pretty nice. So again, just however you want this stuff to look, it's completely up to you. But you can get a lot of information real quick once you start recording your data. And again, I'm kind of particular in how I like things to look, so I'll pretty that up a little bit. Ta-da! There we go. It only took a few moments, and we've already extracted some meaningful data. I surely don't like the way that looks. There we go. So very nice. Let's see what else we can discover here if we look at some more information. And don't worry if you get started and you feel like you have to add more later, just go ahead and do it. It's not a big deal. You're not going to mess anything up. Just save stuff like anything else, like any other file, make a backup copy, whatever you need to do. Here's another great example. Real quickly, you can see, how much gold you found on bedrock, how much you found on the hillside, and how much you found in the tailings by gram. So it's breaking it down by gram. If you want to get a little bit more technical on this stuff, you can. It's certainly not hard to do by any stretch of the imagination. But once you start charting around, you'll get the hang of this really quick. And soon you'll have some real meaning behind all your data. So you can see here, based on this example data, you found 77% of your gold on bedrock, found 10% of it in tailings, and 13% on the hillside. That is really cool. I mean, that is just super useful. I just absolutely love it. And you can drop off information, you can add it. According to this data, we have 88% of the finds were in Arizona, 12% were in California in this example data. Real easy to look at, real easy to enjoy. You look at weather data, you had 87% recovered on sunny days and 13% on cloudy days. What does that mean? Maybe it has something to do with EMF. If you recorded more data, you might be able to get some story out of that. But either way, it's cool to know that this is how it actually broke down. You may have to rechart some of this to get it to come out just right. And here, when you look at the type of coil, you can see that 42% of your gold finds were found with a double D. 27% were found with a mono. Stock coil, 18%, didn't have any specific information on the type. And the Super D, that was 13%. We can probably, extrapolate that a little bit more. Double D, the gold monster, 2%. Now we added in the detector type DD GP Extreme 2%, Mono GP Extreme 27%. If we add in coil, we'll probably even get a little bit more out of it. So there's a lot you can learn, a lot you can understand just looking at this data. You can play with it, you can toss it back and forth, enjoy it the way you want it to be, and really kind of break it down. You can take location and weight and look at different values. So real quickly we can look at this. Sort the data. And we can say, hey, this spot that we call Foxy has produced the most gold. But by what percentage have we seen the most gold in Foxy? Maybe that's good to know. I mean, I would like to know that. Wouldn't you like to take the guesswork out of what you're doing? I've done it. You can do it too. It's very easy. Now suddenly you break this stuff down, you chart it out, you're becoming a data scientist. Now you know 37% of all your finds have been on Foxy. 16% have been at beer can. 13% have been at toe. 12% at Fandango. 12% at Cuz, 2. And then at Hurl, you have 10%. So you can, maybe call this, if you're really interested in it, where did I find my gold? That's the question, right? That's the question that this chart is actually answering for you, is where did you find your gold? That's great to know. You could even, look at it a little bit differently. Foxy's in Arizona, and Cuz 2 is the only one in California, 12%. So you can say 12% of your gold. We can actually, knock that out and say 12% of your gold in California, 88% in Arizona. Really good information. Really good stuff. And again, you can kind of play with this and take a look at it different ways. But it all starts with just writing it down. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just start somewhere, record your data, get going with it, look back in 6 months, look back in a year, even quicker, in a couple weeks if you're getting at a lot. See what you're learning, see what you're charting about yourself. I think it will change the way you look at detecting. I think it'll change the way you look at yourself and your detecting habits, and I believe it'll probably make you a better prospector. I know recording my own personal data has helped me become a way better prospector, and has helped me help others too by showing real life examples. So that's it for today. I hope this helps you. Again, this is example data for you. Create as many columns as you want. Call them whatever you like. Just record your finds. It's simple to do. I'm out of here. Have a great night. I'll catch you later.